Hello, Wallace. Ryan Moore, your new senior pastor, and I'm excited to bring you an update on what the session has been talking about for the past couple of weeks. And so let me jump right into those things. First, we've been talking about how we can organize and expedite the process of new members joining the church, whether they are folks coming in and want to join Wallace or want to be community members of Wallace, the process of meeting with elders to do that, the process of new members classes, all of that stuff. And so we're working on expediting that process. We do have new members interviews this Sunday and next Sunday. And then in September, we'll be coming together to talk about as a session our plans for what we want the new members class to be and how often we want to offer that. And so we're excited to update that process for everyone, and so that everyone also knows when those classes are, so they can tell prospective members or folks visiting Wallace, when those things are. If you haven't been presented, if you will, in front of the congregation as a new member, but you've met with the elders and you're a member of the church or you're a new community member of the church, September 19th is the date that we will present new members to the church. So please put that on your calendar, September 19th. We've also been talking a lot about our youth and the part-time hire that we're pursuing and the full-time hire that we're pursuing. There's a third track that I want to also mention to you all is the volunteers of this church for our youth. And we're actually going to meet this Saturday from 10 to 12 to map out general areas of places for our volunteers to serve our youth, both junior high and senior high. If you're interested in serving and volunteering for our youth this fall, please contact myself or Terry Carmen or Andy Cavanaugh, and we would love to know how we can find a place for you to plug in and serve. But what I want you all to know is that regardless if we find a part-time person or not this year, our volunteers will be in place to move forward with our youth programs, COVID pending. And so the idea is that if we find somebody, then great. If we don't, we still have a plan moving forward to serve our youth. And if we find somebody though for part-time, they'll come in and they will serve alongside our volunteers and oversee that as much as possible. And then alongside with our full-time search, we just talked about how we are moving forward to expedite and to move forward with that search. And so I just want to update you on that, let you know we are continuing to talk about that and move forward with that. We did extend the part-time search to September 30th. So that's been updated in all the places that we are posting that job description. Another thing we've been talking about is Sunday worship service and the things that we want to perhaps see happen there. And one of those things is creating a schedule for elder participation in the service so that our elders are more visible to you all, the congregation, but also to figure out and create ways for laymen and women to volunteer in the worship service itself. And so we're excited to be talking about that and preparing something for the congregation in the coming months for what we think we can do with those things. The other thing that we're talking about is, and this is more my initiative, is to try to find a way to get our service with communion inside or under an hour and 15 minutes. And so we're doing some things with the service to consider how we might be able to do that on a more regular basis. And so that'll be part of our session meeting in September. For a church-wide communication topic that we've been talking about, a lot of interest in wanting to update things like our website and formalize how we are choosing to communicate as a church, whether it's through e-news or other venues. If you would love to help out with any of our social media platforms, websites, or just are good with communications, please contact me. I'd love to talk with you about utilizing your gifts for Wallace in that way, but wanted to let you know that we're talking about those things. We're also looking at having RUF staff come and be a part of the campus where they will have offices here to study over the week, meet with college students, have their own planning meetings as well. That's not for certain yet. We're still trying to find space for them and find out if it's a relationship that can work with RUF, the campus of the University of Maryland, but we're excited to see that possibly happen, and that's one of the things we've been talking about. I'm also looking at wanting to extend session meetings to 2 meetings per month. That would be no more than 2 hours per meeting. And that first meeting would be tailored more towards the business of the church. And that second meeting would be tailored more towards equipping our elders with shepherding the people of our church and talking about how we can do that better and making that more of an intentional piece of our session meetings. Lastly, we set a date for my installation service, which is going to be September 26th. So hopefully you can put that on your calendar. Would love for you to be there as we see this finally come to completion. But again, happy to be here, glad to be here in Maryland, and glad to be serving you, Wallace, as a church.